Hi, I'm Jill. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, which is about 35 minutes, we will kind of wake up our breath and get into some deep folds. So kind of rebuilding trust with a deep squatting position if that's something that creates anxiety for you. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in just a few seconds. Hi, join me in a seated position that you find comfy. I am, for some reason, enjoying cross-legged today. If you want to kneel or sit on a yoga block, that would be perfectly fine as well. And let's just take a moment to start by calming our breath down. So go ahead and close your eyes, and we'll just start with some awareness. So wherever your hands are, just notice that placement. You might notice where your wrists are contacting your body. You might notice some asymmetries. And just take a moment to notice where your sitting bones are connecting to the mat if you're sitting in a cross-legged position, or how they're contacting your heels if you're kneeling. And you don't have to fix anything, just notice. Notice if one sitting bone has more weight on it than the other. And then shift your attention to your thigh bones and see if you can sense the length, the full length of each of your thigh bones. And then find your awareness deep inside your hip sockets. And if you're not exactly sure where your hip sockets are located, that's fine. And then draw your attention to your spine, starting at the tip of your head all the way down to your tailbone. And just notice if today, if you feel like your spine needs more length, or if your thigh bones need more length. And if that doesn't make any sense, that's fine, just let it go. And then just shift your attention maybe to your ears, noticing any sounds that are in your environment, things that are beyond your control. And shift your attention to your breath. See if you can find your breath. And just notice the quality of your breath. Does it feel smooth? Does it feel broken up? Does it feel calm? Does it feel anxious? And then just take another moment to notice whatever is calling your attention. Literally taking your focus, your eyeballs inside to look at whatever is calling to you. And then you can just gently open your eyes. If you need to shift your weight around, go ahead and do that. You can change your position if you'd like, or you can stay. And let's just find our left hand across on our opposite lung. So you can bring it right up to your collarbone and up onto the top of your shoulder even. Close your eyes again for me after you've found that hand placement, and we're going to take some one lung breathing. So noticing that there's lung tissue that comes all the way up underneath your hand, behind your collarbone, and that's where we're going to begin our breath focus. So taking a very gentle inhale, seeing if you can coax that lung tissue to gently expand behind that collarbone and inflate. And as you exhale, that lung tissue just gently glides down and slides beneath the collarbone again. Gentle breath in. And gentle breath out, just taking the breathing on your own time. Allowing your body to organize and connect and come into this moment. And breathing in. And exhale. And rest, and then just bring that same hand this time and wrap it around the side of your ribs, and we're going to focus the breathing on the side of our ribs under our armpit here. So here we go, breathing in. Those ribs get wide and gently separate, and exhale on your own time. And just take a few more breaths that work for you with your focus, staying attuned to the side of your ribs and that connection to your hand. And if you notice as you inhale that your neck or your jaw or your upper traps or your shoulders are resistant or getting tight, then you're over breathing and you need to make the breath smaller and calmer, which maybe sounds contrary to everything you've been told about deep breathing, but when you have restriction in your body, you have to work with the breath and allow it to open the body slowly and gradually. You can't force more breath into your body than you have room for at the moment. And just remove that hand and rest, and then just take a moment to notice any changes between the side that you've focused your attention on and the side that we haven't given our full attention to yet. And just notice if maybe there's more awareness, more clarity, if there's more space in those ribs. Maybe your lower back has even settled a little bit and that sitting bone has dropped deeper towards the mat. And then let's just take that on the other side. So go ahead and bring your hand across. And we're going to take a breath in, bringing that lung tissue up gently. And exhale, allowing that lung tissue to soften and settle. So that lung is getting slippery as it moves in relationship to your collarbone. And taking a few more on your own time. And then you can wrap that hand around your side ribs. And you maybe even notice, I'm noticing today that I feel kind of tight, and I'm even having a hard time getting my arm hugged all the way across midline to reach my ribs. So just notice any restrictions that you might feel. And it's never the goal to create more tension in your body. So if it's causing too much tension to bring your hand across and place it on your ribs, you can put it somewhere that feels right, but just keep your awareness in those side ribs, allowing them to expand on the inhale. and soften and settle back into the body on the exhale. Good. Again, just finding a breath pattern that works for you. The goal is to keep it calm and appropriate for your current tension pattern in your body. And then just release that hand. You can open your eyes and just again notice if you have had a shift in sensation on the side that we've just granted some of our attention and awareness to. Maybe your sitting feels a little more effortless. And if it doesn't and you encounter frustration or anything that you don't like, that's okay as well. I have days where, nothing feels like it works out the way I would like to. So let's just go ahead and start with some gentle movement in our upper body. So just follow along, bring your palms together for me, and we're just going to scoop some space. So bring the palms together and up, and then circling wide. Again, bring them together and up, and circling wide. You can concentrate your focus maybe on your forearms, keeping some clarity in your forearms, and keeping your collarbones nice and supple, wide and soft, with that awareness that we've placed there from our one lung breathing. And then let's just add a little bit of rotation. So just gently lift your gaze. Just keep it small for now. Keep it about the forearms. Let's alternate sides. Keep it about the forearms, moving within the frame of your body. And again, alternating. And one last time here, alternating and rest. So I'm going to shift my body, my lower body position. I feel like I'm ready for a change. So wherever you're at, your job is to find a different placement that works for you. I'm going to come up onto my toes in this kind of toe sit placement. I realize we have not warmed up for that, but I've just been for a walk, so I'm okay with that. If you want to do something completely different, that's your creative movement license that you get to use. So still playing with some arm patterns. Let's just take it a little bit bigger now, bringing the back side of the hands together and open, reaching and carving through space. And again, the back side and the forearms, don't force any bones together to touch that feels not right just yet. So moving very softly within your boundaries today. So respect your boundaries. You can challenge them gently, but trust that if you move within the framework with which you feel is true today, that it can actually improve. When you choose to override it arbitrarily, then it doesn't really have a chance to ever come online and make an improvement. And then we're going to take this into some rotation. So just carving open as you gently look up into some rotation and extension. And reverse, just allowing yourself to rest into the back side of your body as you come up into that extension. As if a trusted friend is holding the back of your head, or there's a nice hammock or sling back there that you can just rest into. And let's take one more here and rest. So wherever you're at in space, just gather yourself so that you are joining me in this kneeling position. And something that I find helpful is just to get my spiral going the right way. So if you weren't already here and you need a little bit of help, yes, you're going to get your legs to wobble. That's good for this. And you're going to get all of your tissue spiraling inward and kind of move your hamstrings out of the way to have a seat. So, and then envision that your thigh bones are spiraling in this direction as you sit here. Good. So we're going to add in a little bit of footwork. I think I'll turn to the side. So from this position, you're just going to rock forward, tuck the toes, Untuck, sit back. Rock forward, tuck the toes, untuck, and sit. You got it. It's pretty easy. Good. Keep that going. Tuck the toes, untuck and sit back. And this one we're going to hold the toe tuck and then just shift our weight back and forward a little bit. So getting some more sensation maybe through the wrapping around your heel and your lower leg. And if that's not where you're sensing it, it's fine. You know, you're always going to feel whatever your weakest link is, and that is so different for everyone. And so just because I point something out or draw your attention somewhere doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong or not present or connected if that's not where you're feeling it. And then just come to a rest, and then we're going to add on a little bit more. So keep your toes tucked and see if you can curl your tailbone under. So this is a variation of cat-cow, and then extend into cow. So tuck your tailbone under. Your lower back curves. Don't worry about your upper back. This part of our back is, we don't need to curve that anymore. That's kind of, you know, most of us have no issue with finding curve there. See if you can find the curve all in your lower back, widening and hollowing your lower spine. Good. And just take a couple more. And one last one here. And hold. So now we're going to keep our toes tucked, and we're just going to take an extension up and a back down. Sorry, I just kind of lost my wording there. So carving through space, bring it up and down. You can keep that going. I'm going to move back to the front and bring it up and down and up. Again, finding that back body sling, allowing your back to rest into that hammock behind you, trusting that it's safe to extend your spine. Good. And rest. Lower the arms. I'm just going to inch my way back on my mat a little bit. So you're still up in this toe position, and if it's killing you, just take a rest for a second while I show the next segment. So from that toe under position, we're just going to shift, hang on. We're going to shift our weight to one side and take a little bit of a lunge. Come back to that toe sit, come up. There's a little bit of a weight shift to get your leg out from underneath you. Press it back, and come back to toe sit. Again, coming forward, shift your weight to unload that leg that needs to move. Press back, tuck it under, and sit. Kneeling tall, shift, leg comes out, glide, press back. That's hard for me right there, and sit back. You can use your arms. Float yourself up to kneeling, glide, press back. Whoa! And fold yourself in. Unfold, glide to your weight-bearing leg, glide to the front leg, return that, and rest. Good. Adding on, come up, glide, send your leg out. Then we're gonna try and unhinge that knee and then rehinge it. So unhinge it, good, and rehinge it, feeling your pelvis gliding really cleanly over your hip sockets. And unfolding, and again, unfolding, hold. Let's see if we can add one more thing on. Flex the foot, point the foot, allow it to resonate through your whole body. So you'll see that my entire torso is shifting with that, but I'm still keeping my shoulders over my hips. Good. and hold. Let's add on a little bit more. So we have knee, flex, extend, lower. Knee, flex, extend, lower. Good. Knee, flex, extend, lower. Let's reverse it. Flex, bend, foot, straighten. Flex, straightens maybe not the best word. Bend, foot comes down, and glide. Foot, heel, lower the foot, glide, hold. Just bring your arms forward of your body for me to some place that feels comfortable, where you feel like you're hugging the space in front of you. See if you can glide your weight over your support hip and just find some way to play and pick up that leg and balance. Whoa! And then let's switch sides. So from this kneeling position, just come back for a second, unload your toes. If you need to reach back and fiddle with your toes, get them all separated into 10 individual digits. That's great. And then come up to kneeling again. So now we have this leg. Take your glide, send that leg out, and here we go. Foot. Which way are we going to go? We're going to go foot, foot, stretch, lower, glide. There we go. Foot, stretch, lower. There we go. I needed to move my leg out further. So make adjustments for yourself as well. It takes my brain a second to switch sides. Good. And just keep that going. Feeling the clarity in your pelvis. And then let's reverse it. So foot comes down, lengthen through the back of your knee, flex the foot, and glide the pelvis. Good. Take a few more in that direction. Really good. And last one here, hold. And just bring the arms. Did I leave something out? It feels like I left something out. Bring your arms forward, hugging the space. Get your weight really shifted over your support leg and see if you can find a fun place to balance. Whoa! And then rest. Good. So you can rest wherever you'd like. I'm gonna grab a quick sip of water. You can do the same if you'd like. And then we're gonna come up to a standing placement. So just lower your hands, tuck your toes under, get your feet underneath you, and then find yourself in a wide second position, or turned out squat, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So with your hands on your pelvis, whoa, okay, with your hands on your pelvis, we're going to take some circular motion. So gliding that pelvis, trying to keep it always horizontal. It's going like this over the heads of your thigh bones. And you can actually, let's just take the arms with it. So follow along. Good. And just take a couple more here. And rest. Then we're just going to shift our weight a bit so that we're oriented towards our, well, whatever, just follow. So from this position, we're going to also shift our pelvis. So it's going to come back and down. And so now it's not so horizontal. Now it's moving like this. So just bring your arms with me. Let's just have the arms mirroring what the pelvis is doing. And it actually has a little bit of a tilt on that angle too that you might feel, to allow your lower back to be nice and wide and full. Good, and hold there. Let's just circle the arms over the top and come to the other side. Good. and add a little bit of arms paralleling what the pelvis is doing, and just play. You can allow the palms to rotate, so maybe they come away from each other as you move down and move towards each other as you come up. Good, and just take a couple more. Good, and hold it down, and then just cartwheel those arms back up, and then turn your feet in to find parallel. So let's just again shift our weight towards one side and unload that other foot. And you're just going to bring it down and unload. So I'm not even coming up to the ball of my foot on the other side. I'm just finding a clean, solid, really neutral foot connected into the ground and sensing the floor to interact with, to play with. And switch your pelvis to the other side. And here we go, getting your weight way over that standing leg. Sometimes I'm surprised when I haven't been moving well how much my pelvis has to glide to get my weight over my support leg, and come back to center here and just shimmy your feet in so that they're a little bit closer together. And we're just going to take some pelvic circles. So imagine a hula hoop. So now your pelvis is literally moving like this. And just notice your foot connection into the ground. Your weight is shifting on your feet, but it's really intrinsic. So my feet are both staying connected to the ground. If you imagine wet footprints on your mat, that's kind of staying there with some clarity. Good. And rest. So just shake it out for a second. And then we're going to move a few times between standing and the ground. So here we go. You should feel hopefully nice and supported, so it's not overwhelming to either your nervous system or your to your whole system, I'll just say. So you should feel like you have some good awareness of your hip sockets deep inside of here, and that you have some support going on in your upper body, hopefully, so we can move up and down to the ground with ease. I'm going to turn to the side to show it. So everything has to fold in, and you have to commit to everything folding in. If you leave anything kind of hanging out there, like loose ends, then it's not going to work. So just commit to everything folding in, bring your hands down to the ground, unfold like we did in the beginning, and then retuck your toes, get your weight way back on your heels, and stand up. Again, fold everything in. Allow your weight to come forward, untuck your feet to sit back on your heels, and rock forward. Tuck your toes, get your heels down, commit to standing tall, but still feel the ground. Fold everything in, and rock it forward. Sit back, reaching forward, tuck your toes, rock back to your heels, and just stay here. So we're just going to enjoy this really deep squat. This is kind of like what do you want to call it? A controversial position, I guess you could say. So it's interesting in kind of Western movement, this position often gets so much bad press for being hard on the knees, and in Eastern culture it's like nothing. It's like resting, it's like hanging out, it's like cooking on the ground and looking after your babies and just resting. You know, if you're out and about and you need to take a rest, well, you squat. So there's so many important benefits to deep squatting like this. I won't go into all of them. I think for me, the single most important benefit to deep squatting is trust. And that's like trust that our bodies are designed to compress and fold inward on themselves like this. and that's like a really safe place to go, especially when you're feeling emotionally vulnerable. There's, you know, think about fetal position, that curling inward. So that's like, for me, that's the best benefit that I can get from it, is just a reminder that, oh yeah, that is meant to go there. And that actually feels good. It might feel kind of tight or restricted, but it feels like, yeah, I could see why that would be helpful. So if that's too much to just stay there, you can play with rocking in and out of it. And just, you know, permission to just play around, and you don't have to get your heels down all the way. So maybe just coming up onto your toes. If you enjoy being in water, either the ocean or a swimming pool, you can play with that kind of tucked position in water, and it takes maybe the nervous factor out of it. And so it's a good place to reconnect with those deep folds in your body. So with that said, I think we'll call it to a close there. So just go ahead and join me in a seated position again, wherever you would like to be. And, you know, every day is really different, but I don't always feel like we have to end a movement session with a static stretch. I feel like quality movement, if you're moving well, there's always a strength and an elastic component already built into it. So there's other benefits, again, to kind of having a static moment at the end, and that's like to maybe calm your breath down and calm your thoughts down if they've kind of gotten a little bit scattered as your movement has gotten challenged. But if you were moving well and you felt connected, then you don't always have to feel like you need to just stop and have a static stretch. So today we're just going to end with that same awareness that we began with when we started. So wherever you close your eyes and wherever you began seated, whether it was kneeling or cross-legged, just go back to that same place and notice again where your hands, wrists, or forearms are contacting your body. And see if you can recollect if it feels different than it did in the beginning. On my body, it feels very different. It feels much more symmetrical than it did when we started. And then just again, bring your attention to your thigh bones, checking in with the length of your thigh bones. And checking in with your spine from the head to the tip of your tailbone. And bringing your attention over to your right collarbone and that lung tissue that we connected with. And bringing your attention to your left collarbone. And your ribs. Maybe the right side to begin with. And then the left side to end with. And then just drawing your internal gaze to anything else that's calling your attention. And noticing how your body feels after you've taken some time to be with yourself and just to be with whatever's going on in your life right now. So it's okay to be with whatever's there. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's good, but the cool thing about movement is that it's always like a place to process and connect with how you're feeling. And thank you so much for joining me today. Let's see if you, I'm trying to remember what I need to tell you. So, oh yes, there's a green tree in the corner of the video. So if you have not already subscribed, I would love it if you would do that. And yeah, I just, you know, I'm also an intuitive eating coach. You may or may not know that. And I've just opened up some new options on my website for taster sessions. So that's like a free consultation to find out if you would like to work with me on intuitive eating. And intuitive eating is all about healing your relationship with food and your body. And if you're maybe interested in that, but not sure about what it is exactly, or not sure if I would be the right person to help you with it, then I like the idea of offering a free consultation to you because it alleviates a lot of pressure for us both to see if we're a nice fit for each other. So I'll leave those details in the description to this video, and I will see you again next week. If you have any thoughts, ideas, comments, or anything that you'd like me to know, just leave it below as well, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.